Hello everyone, Luke here, and today I'm going to be speedrunning a marathon. Now, I'm super fast, so it should only take me like an hour. 18 hours, a new record. Man, real life speedrunning's tough, so I think I'm going to stick to video game speedrunning from now on. It's a lot less effort, but there still is a certain art to speedrunning in the gaming community. So what is speedrunning? Well, speedrunning in the gaming community is the act of playing a video game or a section of a video game with the goal of completing it as fast as possible. Do you ever have just that one game you played hundreds of times, and after playing it a few times, you just try and see how fast you can beat it? Mostly for personal glory. But sometimes games actually reward the player for speedrunning, like in Metroid, where Samus's clothing gets more revealing the faster the game is completed, or in Mario Kart, where characters can be unlocked by playing the game's time trials mode. And the definition of a speedrun has changed over the years. Back in the day of arcades or pre-NES era, games didn't really have an end. More so, speedrunning the games was more of how big of a high score you could rack up, and most arcade machines kept track of players' high scores. But soon systems like the NES came out with games that did have an end, like Super Mario Bros. This game is one of the most speedrun game of all time, because everybody knows the secrets. It's just down to how well you can perform them. And I think it's a good time to explain the types of speedruns. Any percent is probably the most well-known type. The goal for this category is to beat the game as fast as you can, so you can use glitches, shortcuts, anything counts for any percent. A 100% speedrun is where you need to complete the game 100%, whether that be beating every level in Super Mario Bros. Or getting every star in Super Mario 64. These speedruns can take many hours, especially open world games like Grand Theft Auto and Breath of the Wild, games like that. Low percents is an interesting one. The objective is to beat the game at the lowest blank. Stars, coins, levels, score. The speedrun category is really interesting because even for games released 20 years ago, people are still finding glitches and ways to lower the low percent time even lower. Task speedruns are interesting. TAS stands for Tool Assisted Speedrun, so it's a computer running the game frame by frame to see what the theoretical limits of a game are. These runs aren't done by humans, but can show what the game's limit can be, and they can be really fun to watch. They're just so satisfying to see a level of a game be completed with just perfection. Now for some games that are infamous in the speedrunning community. Sonic was a game made just for speedrunning. The better you were at the game, the faster you could complete it. The third zone in Sonic 2 was a water stage, and going through water in Sonic just isn't very fun. But if you're good enough at the game, you can actually go through the whole stage without even touching water, which rewards the good players. Mario 64 is an interesting history when it comes to speedrunning. Mainly it's any percent and low percent runs. Normally you need 70 stars to beat the main game, but runners have found glitches over the years, and now you can beat the game without collecting even a single star. In my opinion, that's when games have the most interesting speedrun histories, when glitches are discovered. There's an awesome YouTuber called Summoning Salt that you should totally check out. He covers histories of many games' speedrun history, and it's really cool to see. And that about covers speedrunning, so hopefully you can see now why speedrunning is so important to the gaming community. And as always, I'm gonna get water.